Let's see some examples of making esters and amides without just using R groups. So let's make some real things. So I'm going to try to show 4 examples in this video. So let's say that this is an ester that we want to make. How do we make this? Well, you know, it's easy to look at a molecule like this and say, wow, it's got this fancy benzene ring in it. No, the point is we're trying to make an ester. So this is where our attention should be. And in making an ester, we're going to make that new CO bond there. And how do we make these? We make these from an acid chloride and the corresponding alcohol. So we're going to need this alcohol in some form. And if we were going to write this as a reaction, we'd probably write something like this. Well, we're going to take our acid chloride. I'm going to abbreviate that benzene ring as pH for phenyl. And we're going to treat our acid chloride with this reagent. And we get our product. So that's one example. Don't get lost in some of the other details of the molecule, like that benzene ring. That's just a fancy R group. So just incorporate it into your molecule as an R group. Let's see another. If we wanted to make this compound, again, you might get distracted by the seeming complexity of the R groups, but in the end, these are just R groups. So to do this, we need an acid chloride again. We've got to make that bond. And that alcohol, so if we wrote this out as a reaction, the sodium salt of our alcohol, and that's going to give our product. I'm not going to write it out because I already wrote it out over here. So how about amides? Amides are just as easy. Let's say we wanted to make this molecule. This is an amide. Focus on the fact that this is the part of the molecule that we're trying to make. The rest, these are just R groups. So this cyclohexyl group on the left, we're going to need that as the acid chloride, and we're going to react it with the amine to write it as a reaction. We'd say, okay, let's take our acid chloride and react this with the amine. Now we'll normally use sodium hydroxide in here as a base, and that'll give us our product. Lastly, let's do one more amide. Again, we're making an amide, so focus on that piece of it. Break that bond in your mind, working backwards. So we need the carbonyl to be attached to a chlorine as an acid chloride, and we'll react with slightly different amine. Now this amine has 2 R groups, has 2 methyls. So it'll just have just 1 hydrogen, and that's going to be reflected in the reaction that we write. And we'll need sodium hydroxide. So that's just how you approach thinking backwards, retrosynthetically, about making acid derivatives.